and I'm going to start it by letting you know that someone's looking for a handyman who specializes in bathroom, windows, and door
Oh, I got mine
installations.
too.
Hold on. Shoot, I just closed my... Hold on.
Free retractable screens. Free
Let's see.
dryer?
Free
lost
dryer?
cat.
That can't be a good dryer.
No, make sure it's is it a gas or electric?
I don't know. I'm not clicking.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Why are there helicopters over Bernal Hill?
Black
Update
helicopters?
to Super Bowl 50 commutes.
All right, ready?
Who posts about the helicopters?
Oh, yeah. I have power just went on. Bring Kramer home, dash. Lost dog.
Uh-oh.
Wood burning fires and dust blowers, which is otherwise known as my afternoon. Lost dog. Beware locksmiths listed online. Free comedy tomorrow night.
Ooh, okay, I got some more.
Okay.
Indian cook? That's
Cool.
it. Anyone wants to play tennis together at Dolores Park Courts? Car broken into, black go bag stolen. Oh. I just heard a train. Maybe that was not a train.
I think it's the thing next door. They have like a washing machine next door.
I did not hear a train.
Oh, that's good. I don't feel like wearing my headphones right now. Military helicopters going by the deep base of their engines, probably for Super Bowl 50 security. Why do we need helicopters for that?
All right. Shall we try to ignore the helicopters?
I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Okay.
Veronica Belmont.
That's how you psych yourself up for a show.
Can we not? I'm so tired. Do I have to? Okay.
I don't want it.
You can do it. You can do it.
I drank all the B12 and it's not doing anything.
Drink some more. Drink up. Here we go.
Do it
Recording.
for Jax.
Without advertising, your radio station would sound like this. Without your support on patreon.com, the Daily Tech News Show would sound like this.
Well, to be fair,
We
I'd probably
thank
say
you for your support. dailytechnewsshow.com/support.
This is the Daily Tech News for Monday, February 1st, 2016. I'm Tom Merritt. Joining me today, Veronica Belmont, host of Dear Veronica on Engadget, co-host of Sword and Laser, and proud American. As today we begin our electoral process in the Iowa caucuses, Veronica. Caucus kind of makes you just, it's the way it's pronounced.
Listeners.
Hey, we're going to talk about transportation today, though.
Yes.
Hyperloop transportation.
The future.
Transportation via vacuum tube.
Pneumatic tubes of the future.
like in Futurama, except not. No, this is becoming more real by the moment. Like 2 years ago when this was announced, I was like, yeah, sure, maybe. I guess technically on paper it works, but I don't know.
Smart people with a lot of money are working on it.
Are you becoming a believer?
I'm a hopeful believer. I
All right.
love future tech, so
You
my
want
fingers
to
are
believe.
crossed.
I want to believe. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's start off with some headlines. On Monday, Microsoft Research disclosed efforts to build a submersible data center called Project Natick, N-A-T-I-C-K, N-A-T-I-C-K. According to the New York
Call this Project Atlantis.
According to the New York Times, a prototype capsule named Leona Philpott, little Hulu, or what's its face? Their game. And now I've blanked on it.
I don't know.
It's a reference to the most popular Microsoft game ever. Anyway,
Flight Simulator?
Yes, it's actually a good point. That probably is the thing. Halo. I wanted to say Hulu, and then I couldn't say Halo.
Oh, yeah, Halo. There you go.
Reference to Halo. Anyway, that went smooth. Leona Philpott was submerged 1 kilometer off the Pacific coast of the United States from August to November 2015. The capsule contained 1 server rack. It was just a test, and was filled with pressurized nitrogen for cooling. And of course, it also takes advantage of the natural coolness of the ocean water around it, although it doesn't actually pump any ocean water through or anything. Microsoft estimates capsules could be built and deployed within 90 days. The project is still in the research stage, though. They have no plans as of yet for a commercial product.
I mean, really, there's so much unused space on the ocean floor. Why haven't we thought of this before? And Captain Jack 913 in the chat room got it, hit the nail right on the head when he said, I guess it's the ultimate in liquid cooling. Which,
I mean,
yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Plus, I think the brilliance of it is they're actually using nitrogen to do the cooling, so you don't have to deal with salt water and corrosion of the pipes in the cooling and all of that. You're just taking advantage of like, wow, when you put this thing on the seafloor, turns out it's really cold down there.
It turns out, who knew?
Yeah.
Samsung is pushing out ad blocking support to its internet mobile browser on phones running Android Marshmallow starting today. The support will be added to phones running Lollipop in the next coming months. The first helper app available was the free and open source AdBlock Fast, and an Android version of Crystal is also available.
Yeah, Crystal, I think, is still, if not the most popular, one of the most popular iOS ad blockers. Brings me to the question of, why aren't people still freaking out about ad blockers on mobile? It seemed like up until the launch of ad blockers on iOS, everyone was talking about the adpocalypse that was about to happen, and I have not heard much about it, whether it's had any effect at all.
Do you experience it? Are you feeling the burn?
I don't even notice it. I installed Crystal, and I don't know that I don't see ads or do see ads. I mean, I did it just to see how the process went. I don't use an ad blocker on my desktop. I used cookie blockers like, Rabid Badger, and I use NoScript and things like that. So it's never been about ads. It's always been about malware that can be delivered through ads. I don't think it has materialized as a big thing.
I have not really experienced it too much. Typically sometimes, whether I'm in Chrome or Safari on my iPhone, I do get some very annoying banner-like ad things that pop up in the middle of the screen, and I have to click them to get away, and then it opens up a new window. So I do see this from time to time.
Yeah.
But maybe if I was running an Android phone, I have a better time of it.
Anyway, it turns out not as many people use ad blockers as everyone said they would, or at least everyone else. I never thought it was
good idea in theory.
Yeah. U.S. FBI Director James Comey and many others have expressed concern, we've talked about it before, that law enforcement would go dark in large part due to encryption. There has been dispute over whether they're actually going dark. So the Hewlett Foundation, which was founded by William Hewlett, the founder of Hewlett-Packard long ago, funded a study published by Harvard and convened by Matt Olson, who, if you don't know, was the former director of the National Counterterrorism Center, Bruce Schneier, security expert, and Jonathan Zittrain, who used to work for the Pew Internet Foundation. Three really smart guys, got a lot of people from the government, from privacy organizations, from technology operations together, and said, okay, what is actually happening with data? They found that it does not seem to be the case that surveillance is going dark. They found widespread use of end-to-end encryption is unlikely. It's not being used widespread now, and its adoption is unlikely because it impedes business models. So your Facebooks, your Googles, they can't track you as well if you use end-to-end encryption. So they're like, I don't think these companies are really going to encourage you to use it all the time. In addition, fragmentation of software ecosystems impedes a standard being created. A standard would help encourage widespread adoption even if the companies didn't want one. The Internet of Things devices are opening numerous unencrypted channels. So even if you've encrypted everything end-to-end on your browser, there's all kinds of things surveillance could learn about you from your Internet of Things.
Yes.
And they point out metadata is unencrypted and likely to stay so. And you can learn all kinds of things from metadata. In fact, that is the biggest surveillance program that the United States has going. So thanks to Inga and Ing for posting this in the subreddit.
Ooh, I mean, they still have ways to track you. I think they're going to be okay for a while.
Yeah, and having really smart people in security, in government. There's two members of the NSA contributed to this, working members. They couldn't sign it because they're working members of the NSA, but said, like, this is what is actually going on, and getting a fairly accurate look at it says, no, you're not going dark.
Good. Oh man, yeah, that's incredible stuff. I mean, it's just so fascinating to kind of follow this story and see how, especially when it comes to politics and the fight over encryption and security and national security and how that's all tied together. Very interesting. The information Zamir Afradi says his sources say Google intends to take over the design of Nexus hardware as well as software in the future. The idea would be to vertically integrate the hardware and software in a way similar to how Apple makes the iPhone.
Yeah. So if this is true, Google wants to make the products, not just sell them. Right now, if you've noticed, like the Nexus 6P is made by Huawei. It's branded Huawei. Google puts stock Android on it and sells it, but it's a partnership. And what they would want to do is more what Apple does, which is, sure, Foxconn makes the iPhone in many cases, but it's an Apple product. Apple sells it. It's Apple branded.
Yeah, and I think that it's interesting, though. So it would just be the Nexus phones, I think, probably for now, right?
Yeah, probably. They might make a tablet that way. I mean, the Pixel, the Google Pixel is that. That is a laptop, a Chromebook laptop made by, oh, wait, is it a Chromebook or is that the Android one? Made by Google and sold by Google, and the manufacturer doesn't enter into the branding. So that's kind of the test case for it.
Very cool.
So yeah, it would be Google taking a page from Apple. Kind of cool, but also more verticalities, more silos.
Well, as long as they don't prevent other manufacturers from making Android devices, I mean, do you think that's the way it would go over time, is they would just be only making Nexus phones and devices and
no, you're
vertically
right.
integrating that way?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, if it proved to be a huge success and that going that Apple route of being the manufacturer and the software creator was working for them, then perhaps maybe they would stop licensing out Android. But that seems kind of antithetical to everything they've kind of been about with Android for the past many years.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, they will continue to benefit from people making their own Android devices and putting skins on them. It would just give them more control over these stock devices. Still, I hate silos, though. Don't want silos.
You have an iPhone.
No silos. I'm on it. But yeah, but it has a browser. Put everything in the browser. I don't care who makes the actual hardware.
Okay.
That's my problem. PC World reports on a Reddit user called Alexei P, who has created a way to complain when his Comcast internet speed drops down automatically.
Oh.
Every hour, a Raspberry Pi runs a speed test. If the speed on his connection has dropped below 50 megabits per second, the Pi tweets about it from the account A_Comcast_user. Alexei P says he pays for 150 megabits per second, down and 10 up. And the account was set up on October 30th, and it has posted 16 times. Even posted the Python code up on Pastebin for others who might want to do this themselves. Thanks to Captain Kipper for posting this in the subreddit.
How about a bot for canceling Comcast?
Well, what's funny is Comcast unfailingly responds to each of these automatic posts saying, DM us your account number and we'll see what we can do, which is the right thing to do. And Alexei says, no, I'm not going to do that, because I want this to be an awareness issue. Like, there are plenty of other people having this slow down as well, and I want people to understand just how often it happens.
And it really does. And I mean, and they make it very clear too. And this has happened with us for other internet providers as well, where they say, oh, you're going to get this down, you're going to get this up, this is the package you're buying. And yet, if you don't get that, they're like, well, there's no guarantee that you're going to get those speeds. Those speeds are like best case scenario kind of situations. And it just makes you so angry, because you're like, no, but I pay for this. Like, if I didn't want those speeds, I would do a lower tier, and then I would still be getting the same speeds I'm roughly getting now.
And I like what he's...
I get good ones, but
well, and here's the thing. If I pay for 150 megabits per second, as this person is, and I'm only getting 140, personally, I'm fine with that. I understand how the internet works. No speed test is 100% accurate. No network can deliver at capacity. If they're marketing it as up to 150 megabits per second at peak times, that's fine. If it's below 50 and I'm paying for 150, though, that's too far. That is outside the realm.
That's like a different tier altogether. Oh, it's my turn. Samsung announced its Galaxy Unpacked 2016 event at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona will happen February 21st. The video teaser shows a man wearing a Gear VR headset leaning forward as if to grab something. TechCrunch speculates it could mean the next Samsung Galaxy S phone could add functionality like positional tracking to the Gear VR.
Although it could also just mean that they wanted the guy to do something in the video, because they're like, oh, it's kind of static with him just sitting there. Have him reach forward.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now on the camera on the video version.
It's like virtual reality.
That's cool. I've always wanted to go to Mobile World Congress because I want to go to Barcelona.
Well, Peter Wells, who we are getting closer and closer all the time to being able to bring on as a regular contributor for a 6th day of Daily Tech News Show, will be at Mobile World Congress and is going to do some updates for us from there. That is not the same as being there and eating their jamon, though. So
yeah, Tenvec was proud of my pronunciation of Barcelona. Barcelona.
Yeah, I think it'll be a Samsung Galaxy S7 for sure, and probably a new Gear VR, and probably the S7 will do some nifty trick in combination with the Gear VR. That's my guess.
So many good VR stuff going on. It's awesome.
What's not awesome is that the United States and Europe did not agree to a new secure data transfer protocol by the January 31st deadline set by Europe's privacy regulators. A previous agreement was ruled invalid by the European Court of Justice back in October. You may recall, if you're a longtime listener of DTNS, all the way back to October. Ars Technica reports European data authorities are going to publish their own views on what the data transfer protocol should be on Wednesday. The New York Times says that the US and EU remain divided on how to protect European citizens' data from government surveillance here in the United States, among other issues. And this causes a lot of uncertainty for companies, especially smaller companies, about what they can do if they have a server outside of Europe in the United States, but customers in Europe.
And it goes both ways too, right? For American companies operating in Europe as well.
Yeah, it's more of a concern because the data protection seems to be more heavily leaned towards Europe, that they'd more likely get in trouble in Europe than get in trouble in the United States. But yeah, it goes both ways. You're absolutely right. It means that any company trying to transfer data between these two regions is going to have a lot of hoops to jump through to do it legally, and uncertainty even then of whether the hoops they jumped through were the right hoops.
All right, The Verge points to a polity.nl.
It's a Dutch site.
I figured that from the .nl domain there, but I don't know how to say the first part. Polity.nl story that law enforcement in the Netherlands is partnering with a Raptor training company named Guard from Above to intercept quadcopters and other UASs or UAVs. A video from Polity shows an eagle grabbing a quadcopter in midair using its incredibly sharp and strong talons. And I saw this story this morning, and I was really excited about it because I think that is badass. And when we say raptors, we're talking about birds of prey, not raptors, not velociraptors.
Could be falcons, right? This case, it's an eagle.
It could be falcons. It could be eagles. Could be hawks. All trainable.
I don't know that this is particularly Dutch, but how cool is it that in Japan they have another robot with a flying net go and attack the quadcopter? Like
That's
we've
very
seen that.
Japanese. That's very
But in the Netherlands they're like, oh no, we will have our falconer. In this case, an eagle. Like very European, I guess.
I'm partial to it because we used to have a falcon at AT&T Park that attacked the seagulls, and they don't have them anymore.
Well, and as a listener of We Have Concerns, one of their recent episodes was all about falconry, to which I say, let's learn to be falconers. We could all get jobs fighting quadcopters.
I think it's a very it's an interesting idea.
I hope it doesn't hurt the eagles.
I hope those little spinny things are pretty. Yeah. The propellers on quadcopters and other unmanned vehicles can be pretty sharp and pretty dangerous, as we saw in MythBusters. So hopefully, it can't cut your throat out, but it could definitely nick the skin a little bit, take out a few feathers. So I worry about the birds of prey a little bit. But I think they can handle it around.
I worry not so. I mean, I do worry that I don't want the birds of prey to get hurt. I also worry that it's a bird of prey. If you hurt it, it can take revenge on you.
Oh yeah, it knows where you live.
Yeah.
They're very smart.
Yeah, not just with its talons, but also with its connections. Highly connected birds. Tech in Asia reports that Canalys estimates Xiaomi maintained its top spot as the top smartphone brand in China, followed by Huawei and Apple. Canalys reported Xiaomi had a 15.2% share of the Chinese market. Huawei had 14.7%, so not a big lead for Xiaomi in China. And Apple had a 12.5% share. Vivo is expected to make a good showing in 2016, possibly break break into those top 3. PC Mag reports US Mobile here in the United States, which operates on the T-Mobile network, is importing and selling Xiaomi phones and phones from Meizu in China as well. They will sell and support the phones, although they aren't official US releases of the phones, so they can't access US LTE or HSPA Plus, and they also won't be able to use some of the built-in services that Xiaomi pre-installs, which are meant for China only.
Interesting. Lagerdalek wants us to make sure you didn't miss the port of Windows 95 to your browser. 19-year-old Andrea Falls of Scotland used JavaScript and the Encryption emulator to get a fully functioning install of Windows 95 to run in a browser. Try it at https://win95.ajf.me. Sorry, //
Loved this. It takes a while. It took a while for this to launch for me. It's not fast, and maybe that's just because the server's getting hit, but it did work. And I was playing Minesweeper circa 1995 in my browser.
Nice.
Only with JavaScript. Like, this is a feat. This is an impressive feat.
Yes.
Finally, Alphabet reported revenue of $21.3 billion, earnings of $8.67 a share. Taking analysts' expectations outside and stomping on them, analysts expected $20.8 billion and $8.09 a share. That makes Alphabet probably, when all the counting is done, the most valuable publicly traded company in the world at $558 billion, now in front of Apple. Some more details from Recode. For the holiday quarter, paid clicks rose 31% annually, but cost per click dropped 13% year over year. Prior quarter, those figures were 23 and 11% respectively. And this is where we can now see the difference between Google and what they call their other bets. So if you look at that, the other bets part, which is Nest, Fiber, Google X with the self-driving cars, all of their experiments, they had revenue of $448 million, losses of $3.6 billion, and they're expected to have losses in that side. It helps make Google look more profitable to put the losses in another section, and capital expenditures of $869 billion. Other businesses besides ads backing Play, hardware sales and enterprise was $2.1 billion for the fourth quarter. It was $1.95 billion in the same quarter last year, although that was before the Alphabet split, so I'm not sure how much that affects it.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, basically Alphabet killed it.
Crushed it.
Yeah.
Krasnushed it.
And my wife is a stockholder and an employee of Google through YouTube.
Congratulations.
So, yeah. I just to be clear, I don't get to benefit from that other than indirectly. It is none of it is my money.
She's gonna buy you a house.
She can bestow upon me
cars.
Yeah, but I don't benefit from it. So, but still, I have to disclose that.
Buy you a chalet.
She's going to buy more subscription fashion boxes is what she's going to do.
Yes.
She's going to up her Latote subscription.
Can you do that? I don't think you can do that.
I don't know. I just made that up. I don't know if you could do that. I just know that the black box comes, and so do so many others.
It's pink now. It's new.
There's going to be a Korean beauty binge purchasing soon.
We need, Eileen and I need to start that company. That's the company we need to start. There you go.
The K-Beauty box.
I'm not joking.
I'm not joking either. You really should. So, folks, submit your stories to us. Let us know what you'd like us to talk about. The Windows 95 thing is in there simply because you were so excited about it on the subreddit. I mean, I was excited too, but I didn't think it was that big of a story, but y'all loved it. So we put it in. Submit your stories, dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. And thanks to those who do it. That is a look at the headlines. Okay, so this weekend, SpaceX sponsored the first pod design competition challenge at Texas A&M in the College Station. Just settle down, Longhorn fans. It's fine. It was still a good competition. They gave the top rating to MIT. They allowed 20 other teams to be cleared to continue in the competition. That's out of 115 teams that were competing to design these pods. And the next phase will be a race that they hope to conduct this summer on a 1 mile test track right over there in Hawthorne, California. Like,
can I come? Can we cover
distance. Yes, we totally should.
That'd be amazing.
Assuming this actually happens, construction is supposed to begin in spring. And I have no idea, having been over there, where they're going to put it. But apparently they've got a place in mind. Engadget's Daniel Cooper has an excellent roundup on Hyperloop today, if you want to take a look at it over at Engadget.com. But essentially, it's showing that there's progress being made. It's not just this competition for the pods, but the idea of two companies sinking millions of dollars into being the first one to offer service by the end of the decade is a true fact.
Yeah, so this is, so for those who don't know, Elon Musk got kind of wrapped up in this whole Hyperloop idea after he saw the just astronomical costs that California is spending on our high-speed rail. And this is a project that's going to take decades. It's going to go up into the billions of dollars, and it still can't go faster than 200 miles an hour. So it's still going to be, you know, several hour trip down to LA. So this was he decided he wanted to open source this idea and kind of put the project out there and allow all sorts of different kinds of people to come together and work on the Hyperloop technology. Hyperloop, of course, being, as we joked about earlier in the show, a low pressure environment. You know, these tubes that people can essentially travel in with a vacuum, as a vacuum, and it's not pneumatic tubes. Well, I guess it kind of technically.
Yeah, it's not 100% a vacuum either, but it works on the same principle.
So of course, like we're all very familiar with like maglev technology. That's the tech that trains in China and Japan use that can travel, you know, extremely fast, up to 300 and almost 70 miles per hour, which is just, I've been on them before, and it's pretty mind blowing when you're actually on the train itself, just how fast it's moving. But this would be even faster. I mean, this is it would be up to 750 miles per hour. So twice that of what the current fastest railroads can travel. And so when you think of that, that's like, oh my God. I mean, safety concerns obviously kind of pop into mind first and foremost, at least for me. And who are these people who are going to be testing this technology in the early days? Because you'll be liquefied. I mean, if something goes wrong.
Keep in mind, this is still slower than the Concorde jets flew. And they don't reach 750 miles per hour immediately.
They have to move up to it. They have to.
So you don't just get slammed into juice at the back of the pod, one hopes.
Oh, it's so funny. But yeah, so right now there are two primary companies who are unfortunately very similarly named. There's Hyperloop Transportation Technologies, and then there's Hyperloop Technologies. Two separate companies. Hyperloop Technologies is currently the much more well-funded venture that's going on. Shervin Peshawar, and also co-founded by engineer Brogan Van Brogan, Kevin Brogan, who designed the Falcon 1 and Dragon space devices, capsule devices, and also the CEO is ex-Cisco president Rob Lloyd. And so that one definitely has a lot of steam behind it right now, and also I think Elon is kind of on team Hyperloop Technologies as well, from what I've been reading. But then there's also Hyperloop Transportation Technologies that feels kind of more like the upstart, which is led by German Dirk Alborn. They're crowdsourcing science and engineering expertise from employees of companies like NASA, Tesla, SpaceX, and they're not being paid. They're all being rewarded with options for the company if it eventually succeeds and, you know, goes public. What's cool about them is, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, and they're both of these companies are actually building test beds.
Yes.
So we'll have 3 test beds for Hyperloops eventually.
That's right. So the test bed for Hyperloop Technologies, that one is in North Las Vegas at Apex Industrial Park. They're going to begin testing by the end of the year. And then the test bed for Hyperloop Transportation Technologies, HTT, is going to be in Quay Valley. That's in California here. It's between San Francisco and Los Angeles, somewhere in that range. I think it's close to, I was, for some reason I thought it was kind of close to Merced, but I don't really know. I'll have to look it up. Anyway, so it's a loop, and you can go around the entire town in 80 seconds. And they hope to have their first working loop by 2017 that will actually ferry their workers from one side of the town to the other. So that will be a working unit.
Yeah, and that's a planned community that is yet to be built. So it would, like, if you eventually move to Quay Valley, you would have a Hyperloop from the beginning.
Yeah, so they have a lot of stuff they have to get through first, because planned communities like this actually like take a lot of, you can't just like build a town apparently. You have to like go through the right or state process to like
it's not like the old days. You
like,
just popped up a
and,
saloon.
Yeah. Exactly. Hope a caravan stops by eventually.
Right. Wait for the covered wagon.
But anyway, so this is stuff that's going to be happening, hopefully have working designs with people in them by next year.
Yeah, if everything goes right, by the summer, we'll have a 1 mile, 1.5 kilometer test bed right here in my backyard in Hawthorne, California. Then by the end of the year, we'll have a larger test bed in North Las Vegas. And then by next year, we'll have 3, including the one from HTT in Quay Valley. And we'll have pods being designed by some of the smartest young engineers in the country competing to make these pods that are lightweight, easy to manufacture. And going back to what you said at the very beginning, all of this is supposed to cost billions of dollars, but many, many fewer billions of dollars than the high-speed train in California was supposed to cost. Or is supposed to cost. Yeah.
And on top of all that, you don't need to build entirely new systems for the actual Hyperloop transportation system, because it can be put up on pylons raised above existing highways. So you don't have to buy tons of land like you do for the railroad. You don't have to dig massive tunnels. I mean, you can essentially just elevate it over existing roads, so you don't have to go through that additional cost and time to basically build new infrastructure. I mean, you have to build infrastructure, but it can be built on top of existing infrastructure.
Well, it's mostly the land use rights for the train, because you don't have room to put safety corridor for tracks to be laid in between the northbound and southbound lanes of Interstate 5 here in California. You had to buy land and get land use rights and negotiate land use rights. And what Musk was saying is you could build this in the median. Like you just like trains are built, elevated in Chicago above streets, you could do it with this very cheaply, because you just manufacture the pylons, you put the pylons up. You can also build the cylinders that the tube is created of separately. It sounds very similar to the way they build rockets at SpaceX, is what he's thinking, and then bring them to the site and just lift them up. You don't have to build them in place, so that saves you money as well.
But Tom, you must construct additional pylons.
Yes, that's true. And that one of the downsides of this is that you would probably have to get a state or government on board wherever you build this, whether it's in California or somewhere else, because financial backers typically don't want to take bets on big transportation projects like this without some kind of state backing. And so that could be a problem. Also, it's not going to go into the center of cities. That's too dense. So you're going to have some sort of endpoint that's still outside the city. So theoretically, it could end at a point in Los Angeles for me that would take an hour to get from San Francisco to Los Angeles, but then another hour to get from the endpoint of the Hyperloop to my house.
Right. And as Ian points out in the chat, for it to work most efficiently, it has to run straight. So it has to be really a straight line for at least for the high speed portions of the trip. I mean, once it slows down, it can probably make curves and turns. But initially, want to get, I am assuming based on how things like this work that it needs to be as straight a line as possible.
Yeah. But time savings, New York to Washington, D.C., a flight, just the flight part, not going through security and everything, just the flight part is an hour and 15. The Hyperloop could do it in 30 minutes. So it's a big possible savings. Lots of ifs still. But I'll be honest, back in 2013, like I said, I was very skeptical that this would ever turn into anything. And now you've got 2 well-funded companies, one a little more well-funded than the other, for sure, but 2 well-funded companies building test tracks, wanting to make this happen. There's room for both of them to do it if they can get the states on board. And you've got the pods being built. I mean, who knows?
I mean, some of the smartest minds in technology and science and engineering are working on this now for money, but also for no money, just because they're passionate about the idea of solving a major transportation issue. And I think that if they do come up with working models, I think California is going to be pretty stoked to be the first state to maybe integrate something like this into our transportation systems. And they don't have to, they're not paying for it. I mean, they'll pay hopefully to implement it once the technology gets sorted out, but they're not developing this. Like, they're having, private companies are developing this for them. So maybe it'll be a private thing forever. Who knows? Maybe it'll never be like the interstate highways or the highway system, which is taken care of by state and national government. But either way, I'm excited to use it. I'm nervous to try it, but I'm excited about it. I just don't want to be pancake goo.
No. Please don't start it at 750 miles an hour.
Yes.
Work up to it slowly. Well, anyway, you can check out more, like I said, Engadget.com. GeekWire has the story on the design contest. We'll have a link to the white paper from SpaceX where this all got kicked off in our show notes at dailytechnewsshow.com. Our pick of the day comes from Rico in waffly Brussels. That is how Rico described Brussels. So there you go, Belgian waffles. I heard Veronica berating Patrick on his poor use of Doodle. I could very much relate to that. Every time a doodle would show up in my inbox, I would cringe and squirm. Just thinking of that Web 1.0 interface irked me. That non-mobile optimized page, arg, someone save me. Wow. Lots of hate for the interface. You must never go to Craigslist.
It's not Web 1.0. It's a minimalist design, okay? There's a difference.
Well, he likes Vyte.in, VYTE.in. Seriously slick interface, mobile optimized, efficient email, and the killer feature, it's a French company. Too late. Beja just moved to Finland.
Great.
Oh, well. He says, my favorite feature is that I can let other Vyte users see my calendar to make it even easier to propose slots. You can also vote for locations and have a conversation thread. And did I mention it's also French?
You did.
He did. You did. Did I mention Patrick is now Finnish? I don't know. He's actually still French, but he lives in Finland now. He'll be out live from Finland tomorrow. It's exciting. Send your picks to us, folks, like Rico did. Thank you, Rico. That was awesome. VYTE.in. I may try that next time. DailyTechNewsShow.com/picks for more picks. I got some expert emails today. Kevin in semi-sunny North Carolina said, I recently worked for a top 10 U.S. bank, partly on ATMs. The banks themselves program very little of the user interface. The companies mentioned NCR and Diebold and a handful of others do most of it in layers. NCR, Diebold, and Siemens provide the hardware and OS, and they and a few other companies provide the banking platform. The banks themselves generally only customize those things. So when a Bank of America or Chase wants the cardless feature that we were talking about on Friday, the rest of the banks will get that feature a little while later built in. If they choose to use it, is a totally different thing. But it will be built for BOA and be available in the software. Usually that's driven by the interface work that they have to do to the mainframe. By the way, if you see an ATM that is still a green screen terminal looking thing, the odds are very high it's still running OS2 Warp. We were joking about Windows 3.1 and Windows XP on these things, but OS2 Warp, sigh, says Kevin in sunny North Carolina. We got Big Jim, very excited, writing in. Amazon is calling themselves a transportation service provider. Holy crap. And he points to a link at AmericanShipper.com. He says, this is huge. This is a potential game changer. They're potentially leasing planes. They're an NVOCC, which means that they can legally buy and sell ocean slots with the carriers. We've mentioned that before. They purchased all those trucks. OMG, seriously, this is a big-ass deal. What is he so excited about? Well, AmericanShipper.com says that in Amazon's annual 10K report submitted to the SEC, Amazon, for the first time ever, referred to itself as a transportation service provider. And in the filing, Amazon referred to companies that provide fulfillment and logistics services for themselves or third parties as competition. So they're essentially letting the Securities and Exchange Commission know we're a company that does this kind of business, shipping. So when you're regulating things, you have to take note of that. You're legally required to describe the businesses you're in so that you can't secretly compete without people without playing by the rules.
Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Transportation service provider. So does that mean that Amazon could be working on Hyperloop technology too?
For packages? Well, that's one of the things the Hyperloop could do would be to deliver packages and get the trucks off the road.
Yeah. That was this perfect segue, because someone else in the chat room mentioned this, and this was another feature of the article that we forgot to mention, which is that Hyperloop is going to make a huge difference for freight shipping, because it'll probably start for transportation, for transportation of goods rather than transportation of people, because that's going to be a lot more economical. You can pack a lot more goods into a tube than you can a bunch of people, and safety isn't the biggest concern in the world in that fact. It's just getting things there faster. I'm sorry, I'm not sure who mentioned that in the chat, but yeah, it's
probably
Big Jim is also talking about it too. But yeah, it's definitely freight. Freight is where it's at.
Yeah, and what Amazon is saying here is, despite the fact that in their earnings call, they're like, we don't want to replace other shippers. We're going to continue to use shippers like UPS. They're telling the SEC, we're a shipper.
We're definitely going to ship.
We're definitely going to be a shipper, just so you know. Adam Eastwood wrote in and said, just got caught up on your episode from last week and thought it was interesting that Boston is where Starry Internet was being tested. After thinking about it being chosen over cities like New York, San Francisco, or Salt Lake, I realized it must be because of the setup of the city. Unlike most cities, there's no grid pattern to the streets. It's like the Wild West out there, where it's hard to get line of sight. Yeah, right? You've lived in Boston.
Yeah, no, a lot of the major roads are built off of old school cow paths that they would just like wind through the hills and through the streets and around former rivers and things before it all got filled in. So they're all one way. None of them make any sense, and they're beautiful, but they're a pain in the ass to drive in.
And Adam says, if they're able to prove that their line of sight technology can work in a city designed like Boston, they'll be able to prove it could work in anywhere, basically. Yeah. He says, if only I live closer to Boston to try this out, but I doubt it'll make it down here to northern Rhode Island for a long time. Is there a northern Rhode Island? Is it big enough to have a northern Rhode Island? Is it? No. Not to quibble with Adam. Just
Rhode Island is the one that Connecticut can still make fun of. We're able to say, you're
says
small.
The woman from Connecticut. No, all kidding aside, Adam, that is a great point. Boston makes perfect sense for them to say, look, we really think this can work. We don't have nice straight streets. We can beam this signal down. So yeah, that's smart. Thank you, Veronica Belmont. As always, Engadget, you're speechless. Engadget.com/video-series/dear-Veronica.
Something like that. Go to the videos page and you'll find the redesign has been a little confusing for people. I think Engadget.com/dear-Veronica still works. So you can go there and it will take you to Dear Veronica. Always love to answer your questions. We have Scott Johnson on this week.
Nice.
I lisped because my tooth got stuck on. I have a Hurdy taste bud. Do you ever get Hurdy taste buds?
Yep.
Like an inflamed taste bud? Got stuck between my teeth just now. Sorry. Ooh, so Scott Johnson is on this week talking about Blizzard stuff, answering a question. So you can always send in questions by using the hashtag #DearVeronica on Twitter. And also follow me on Snapchat. You'll see lots of bodega videos and pictures. And that's Veronica Belmont on Snapchat. One word.
Yeah, if you're within 20 hours of listening to this episode, you can watch Bodega eat something very interesting on Snapchat today. Yeah, check it out. Hey, thank you, folks. It's February 1st. It's payday. Thank you, bosses, for making it possible for us to survive yet another month. You're the best. We're actually ridiculously close. We're like almost halfway to getting Peter Wells brought on. That's our next milestone goal. And we've got lots of buzzing amongst me and the contributors and Jenny and Roger about what the milestone after that might be. So I think we've talked Peter Wells into going ahead and doing 2 episodes in February as long as we hit that halfway point to the official milestone. So if you'd like to get some preview episodes out of Peter Wells and you haven't backed the show yet, please do. Patreon.com/DTNS. All the ways to support the show are available at dailytechnewsshow.com/support. Also, the new treasure chest links went out. And if this is your first time as a treasure chest level supporter, you'll find all of the bonus material that Rich from lovely Cleveland has been editing up from our pre and post shows in there. Check it out. The link will be in Patreon or by email, patreon.com/DTNS. Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. You can give us a call, 512-59-DAILY. It's 512-593-2459. Catch the show live Monday through Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern at alphageekradio.com and diamondclub.tv, and visit our website at dailytechnewsshow.com. Back tomorrow with Patrick Beja and Miriam Joire here to talk about phone cameras. Talk to you then.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Boom. What should we call that?
You must construct additional pylons.
You know, if you
I
want
like
to,
will travel in tubes.
if you want to do freight, I don't think you'll be able to do overhead pylons because it's too much weight.
Nah.
For freight? Are
Yeah,
you
I think it'll be
kidding?
fine. It'll be fine.
No.
It'll be fine.
Do you
You just-
know that that's too much weight?
Yeah.
Well, no,
you know,
if-
you know,
Or are you
they-
just
they
saying
see
it looks
that
kind of
it's gonna
skinny to
work.
me?
No, I mean, if you want to carry the same freight that, say, like Union Pacific or Conrail do, that's a
No,
lot.
I think they're trying to replace trucks more than trains.
Yeah.
Well, that's different. That's first. But if you're trying to replace a freight train,
No,
I mean,
no one said anything about freight trains but you.
We just said freight.
well, the advantage of
trucks.
the advantage of a truck is that you're not limited to the track. You can go wherever the road takes you, and that's what happened over the years.
Freedom.
Is that you have a distribution point where it comes off the freight train, goes onto a semi, and then the semi can reach whatever rural town or whatever adjacent. What, are you dancing?
No,
Big Jim says it
I'm
depends
doing
on the
a suck
width
it
of the
dance. I said-
tube.
nobody said train, so I'm gonna suck it.
Big Jim says it depends on the width of the tube, and the width of the tube is 6 feet.
6 feet. Yes, 6 feet in diameter.
Well,
So I
that
don't
doesn't
know
do
if
anything
it's-
about the
Or
weight, though.
circumference. I don't know.
Would you
Yeah,
like
but
more titles, or do you feel like you have enough for consideration?
I haven't got any.
I know.
Oh, you must construct additional pylons is the title.
Yes.
I thought Veronica was just saying that.
And then there's will travel in tubes. It's a series
StarCraft
of
joke.
tubes.
It's a StarCraft joke.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Okay.
I thought you were just making it again because it's so funny, which it is.
Thank you.
Let's see what else. Anything else? Those are the top vote getters right now. Let's do the OS2 warp again.
Oh, warp.
Hyperloop breaking wind.
No.
Oh, sorry. Google's alphabet beats Apple's best.
I think
Google-
you must construct additional pylons.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, Roger, to your point about being able to go where the road takes you, one of the things that I read today was that there are bottlenecks happening with trucks in places like Los Angeles where they all have to get to the port and come out of the port, and it causes traffic congestion. So it could be implied in certain places where you have a Hyperloop that takes the cargo from the port
To the
out
distribution.
away from, to a distribution point, say, out in the Central Valley somewhere, and then the trucks can pick it up and take it wherever.
Skeptical, still skeptical, but that's just me.
It's good. It's good. It's
Also,
good to
I
have
mean,
skeptical.
also one of the points is the reason why California is so expensive is because the most logical route to reach California or San Francisco to LA is along Highway 5, but because of the way pork barreling works, every other county wants the rail to go through their real estate. So if you
Yeah.
actually look at it, it goes to
But
the
that's what one of Musk's big motivations for this was. Well, the state already owns 5.
Yeah.
They don't have to get anybody's permission. They can just build on the median.
Yes, hopefully.
Can I interrupt this broadcast to let you know
Yes.
that Jax is out of surgery and has had 5 teeth removed?
Is that good or bad?
5?
5 teeth removed.
Oh
Wow,
no.
poor
He's a
Jax.
little doggy. The vet said they all basically fell out on their own. So the lesson is never
Brush your
get a
dog's teeth.
Yeah, well, that's lesson number 1, but the lesson number 2 is never get a hand-me-down dog.
Well, is it? I mean, it
No, it's
wasn't.
good. It's a
Okay.
good thing. It wasn't
No,
like
always
complicated.
get a hand-me-down dog. You
Always
have done
get a hand-me-down
No,
dog.
you have done a brilliant service. You have saved Jackson, made his life better by
Yeah.
getting a hand-me-down dog. He would
That
have
is-
had more teeth falling out if it weren't for you.
That's true. I just feel bad that it took me so long to realize that his teeth were basically fossils.
Poor Jax.
That's the
But he
thing
still
with
has a-
small dogs.
But
He has all the front ones.
but so he could still chew and all that stuff.
Oh gosh, yeah, and he has probably some of the big back ones. There were these small, tiny dogs have these little, like weird stubby teeth in the middle, and I think those are the ones. But I won't know till I see him. So I'm about to post his whole day now that I know he's alive
Oh.
on Instagram. Oh, I only cried a little today.
Yeah, putting them down under
Poor
anesthesia is
puppy.
always
It's so scary. And this shouldn't
unnerving.
be, but it just is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Back to tech. I just had to share because it was stressing me out.
Well, I'm glad he's out. He's
He's waking up. He's waking up slow.
You gotta wake up slow. He's like Jack Johnson.
He's like Jack Johnson.
Yeah, I gotta take Ellie to the doctor in 10 minutes.
Have you brushed her teeth?
She has
Does she
four
have any
teeth.
teeth?
She has four teeth. It's almost like she's a rodent because they're right up that. They're her incisors, so they're the top and the bottom.
She's getting close to being able to bite you.
She already is. She also has been scratching me really
You
hard.
tell her, Ellie, this is the hand that literally feeds you.
She just see. This is the thing with babies. They do something bad, and you want to scold them, but then they turn around. They do this like really goofy, giggly
Defense
smile,
mechanism. Yeah.
and it's like, what are you gonna do? You can't be mad at them.
Yeah. And then if you keep doing that behavior, they learn to get by in their looks.
They do, and eventually you marry them, and it's like, this is all weird. What happened?
You don't marry your own baby, just to
No,
be clear.
they get married.
Don't marry your
Yeah.
baby.
Unless you're Woody Allen, then it's just really creepy.
Wow, wait a minute. What's the deal with babies?
But that's not Woody Allen. That's
That's Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry Seinfeld.
He's trying to change the conversation.
Oh, all right.
Keep bringing Mr. Allen back into it.
All right. Well, we go back to Hyperloop.
Yeah.
It's a great people mover. I'm not sure about freight. Still, I'm still unless I don't know.
I mean, why wouldn't it also work for cargo? If
No,
it
I'm
can
not
move
saying
people?
it wouldn't. I'm not saying it would not work for cargo. I'm wondering if it would be cost effective rather than putting a standard railroad tracks. That's the reason why freight rail is the only rail in the U.S. that makes money. Is because there's a cost.
But the Hyperloop is meant to compete with passenger rail, not freight rail. But I think it could also be used for some cargo, so it's got a possible second use. Big Jim says, yes, in all caps, it will be, trust me, faster.
Faster than.
No additional operation cost.
Wait.
Yeah, he's responding in real time, and unfortunately, we're not seeing him respond in real time.
No additional operation costs. But I could talk ad nauseum.
I think what he's saying is it doesn't cost more to put cargo in the pods. So
No, I'm not
will be
saying it
cost
costs
effective.
more. I'm wondering in terms of cost efficiency to ship the cargo that way versus just using standard rail. Like, yeah, I understand you can put it in a Hyperloop and it would be able to take it.
Right.
What I'm saying is that the most effective way?
He's saying yes, it is more cost effective. I don't know. He's got a Tech and Trade episode about this. If you want to go check it out,
Okay.
or you two can just get in the chat room and hash it out.
No, I see him in the chat room. But I have to go in like 6 minutes. So.
That's
Thank
okay.
I ain't got time to be right.
What?
It's the internet. No one's right on the internet.
No, everyone's right in the internet. That's the problem.
Everyone thinks they're right.
In the realm of public opinion, perception is paramount.
Yeah, I think actually, as messy as it is right now, and again, I usually tend to look at long-term effects as positive, but I feel like we are learning more now than ever what the difference between public perception and reality is. And the more we have these little internet outrages about things, the more people learn, like, oh, wait a minute, that's not true. Like you've got to have those fights for people to have to gain the widespread knowledge of how things actually work.
Or it could just be idiocracy.
Or that.
Yeah.
Good topic, Veronica.
Thanks.
Looping it in.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wanted to loop you in, yeah.
wonder if they could build the tubes when they put them on pylons, but you would have to make sure that they're seismically sound. But after an earthquake, like I've always wondered, can they put like some jiggle room? So if it shakes a little bit, you don't have to worry about the tracks coming somewhat unaligned.
Well, the question is, what is their earthquake policy? What is their engineering around that? I'm sure they thought of it.
SOL.
It's not. I don't think you're the. I don't think you're the first person to bring it up. And they're like, "Oh crap!"
I remember the first.
But I wonder what it is. Yeah.
I remember the first time they tried out BARTs over a rail, the BART system in the East Bay, and they tested on a test car on a track, and it just literally kept going after the track ended. It like boom, right off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They hadn't figured out how to put in brakes?
Well, the thing about BART is it's entirely computer controlled. The operators.
So the computer
didn't stop it.
Got it.
And so I'm wondering, because Hyperloop would actually be perfect for a completely automated system. Like
I think it's designed to be automated.
So, but I'm just wondering.
You should probably read about it. We should probably do a show about it so you could learn about it.
Okay. What?
Well, no, it sounds like you're bringing up things that I know I've read about, but I don't remember the answers.
Oh, sorry.
Like no, don't be sorry.
Okay.
What is happening? I'm Instagramming about my dog, and all I hear is this weird two-man conversation. What's happening here?
Well, Roger's saying things like, maybe it could be an automated system, and I'm like, yeah, I think it is. Like, I think that's how they're planning on doing it.
Right.
But then I don't really know the answers.
Right. Okay. So you guys are
I'm talking out loud.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to make fun of myself by saying I should look into this and do an episode about it.
Well, it would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if anyone wants to see Jax's progress, it's located at aw_pom, AWW_POM on Instagram. I didn't Snapchat it because I didn't want to start putting it live.
You have your own Instagram account for him?
My dog has an Instagram account. That's the
What is
first
mine?
thing.
Daily Bodega.
No, I'm gonna look right now.
I haven't posted a daily picture in a while though.
Daily-ish bodega.
The picture of him being led in is really just the saddest thing ever.
He's like, I don't want to go.
What is happening? And just like the way his body language is so sad.
Little ears are back. No.
Little body all in a line. Daily Bodega. Got it.
All right, I'll be back in a couple hours. But
okay, have fun, Ellie.
All right, goodbye, y'all. Thanks, Roger.
Daily Bodega.
Oh, Jax. I can't wait to pick him up. Time will not go fast enough.
In the rear with the gear.
I gotta find his palm.
You must construct additional pylons.
AWW_POM.
Oh, okay.
All right, I am out of the post.
Oh, I lost my cute bodega picture.
Oh.
Post a different one. That's what happens with the Snapchat.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's the one thing I don't like. I have to really focus and remember to download the pictures that I like.
Yeah.
Also, am I correct in saying in Snapchat that there's no way to upload a picture to Snapchat?
Correct.
Only to a private message.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
But not like you can't take them and then put them up later.
Yeah, because the whole founding idea of Snapchat is this is not permanent.
All right.
So you're supposed to capture the moment around you and send it for ephemeral enjoyment.
I've been having fun on Snapchat Sundays. I know you have to go, Tom, and you're done with the actual doing of work, and we're just Instagramming.
Oh no, I just finished.
I'm sorry.
Oh, so cute. He's so cute. Look at your puppy. He's so cute with his little bow tie on. Oh my god.
I know. My dog is like automatic endorphin boost. That's It's one of the best things about him and why I only cried twice today. Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 8.
Oh, you're an old man.
No. That's why he lost 5 teeth.
He's an old toothless man.
You old toothless man. It's all right. He won't eat dry food anyway. So.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.